Um, I would say I always kind of knew I was different since I had to come here kind of like illegally. I was only 9, but I already knew there was something different going on at that age. And it didn't start affecting me until I was much older in high school when I saw everybody getting their ID. That's when I was like, so I can't get them. I was like, no, you can't get none of that. And that's when everything started to kind of turn around. Because even younger in my head, it's the same. I'm gonna go to college. There was never one question that I wasn't gonna go. And I remember asking older kids that were in my situation when I would talk to them about school, and they're like, "Oh, we don't plan on going to school." I'm like, "Well, why not?" And they're like, "Well, how are you even planning on it?" I'm like, I just know I'm gonna go." It wasn't until later on that I realized how much more difficult it was gonna even be to attend school after high school. And whenever there was talk about DACA, I didn't really know what was gonna happen. I remember everybody was kind of scared that they were gonna put their information out, and they were scared that was gonna be just a form of getting them. But at that point, I was like, I have nothing to lose, and it was. I'm very grateful for when that came around, and it came around just in time in my senior year. So that kind of just led me going to school pretty smoothly.
So what barriers did DACA then take away for you as far as entering school?
What it did or didn't take away?
No, what barriers did it take away for you as far as?
I mean, I guess the main thing is just being able to apply into school, because I mean they require your social security number, and I didn't have any of that, so that was the main step. And after that, I mean, it allowed me to get some scholarships, not government funded, because we can't get any scholarships, anything form of money from the government we can't get. So any other scholarships from other companies and stuff were how would you say, any organization, private scholarships, those were allowed, we can get and stuff. So that was another way that I opened doors, and as well as working, because that's how I'm paying for school right now, working. So it gave me a work permit, allowed me to work while I was doing school, and I was able to get a driver's license, so I would be able to move around and stuff.
Perfect. You said you go to NWAC. Does NWAC have out-of-state versus in-state type of tuition?
Yes, it does. It has out-of-state tuition and in-state tuition, and we have to pay out-of-state tuition, but I mean it's still better than not going. So yeah.
So did you ever anticipate when DACA came in 2012 that it would ever end? Was it a tentative hope, or how did you feel about DACA when you learned about it?
I mean, since before that we had nothing, and then that came along, I only saw it going forward. I never saw it taking a step back. So now that I did, I kind of took me back as well, because it just happened. It happened very fast. I didn't even know any of that was going on until it hit the news, and I was like, I had no idea that there was even talk about getting rid of it. But I never saw it being taken back. I was hoping that there was going to be just a path to some other form of allowing us to stay here.
So when news of DACA that it was going to end, was that when fear started about what the future would look like, or did it start prior to that? Maybe like with the election, or even before then?
With the election, there wasn't much fear. It wasn't until after the election, because once Donald Trump won, I knew of what he kind of wanted to do, but I still had a lot of hope that that's not what he planned on doing, and fear kind of did start setting in around that time, but it mostly just hit when there was talk about it, and he eventually did it. Yeah.
How do you feel like, or how has your community responded with either Trump being elected or DACA as a program being rescinded?
Even now I talk to my friends, I didn't know this many people knew about what DACA meant, because, if it's not something you're going through, you're not really going to be informed about it. And when I had DACA and I had all this stuff that I was getting, even my closest friends still didn't really know what any of that meant. So when it all ended, I was kind of taken back, in a sense that I had no idea this is how many people supported DACA, but I was very happy to see how many people and influential people were supporting it, because I really didn't think a lot of people knew about it.
Because it does affect 800,000 people.
Yeah.
Whenever you were growing up, did people in your middle school and high school know of your citizenship status?
No, it wasn't until high school where that's something I've always kept private. I know other people are very easy to tell, and they don't mind.
So in 5 years' time, let's say that a solution is found and you're able to work and you're able to do school. Where would you want to see yourself 5 years from now?
In 5 years, hopefully with my master's in nursing,
Excellent.
living in Northwest Arkansas. I love it here so far.
Is there a particular kind of nursing that you would want to do?
I still don't know. Yeah, but I mean, with everything I've gone through, I would say I'm kind of striving towards oncology. So